lens. This is not an audiobook, this is a commentary series. And so right now I am reading chapters 13 and 14, and oh my gosh, it is so good. I changed my format to read it first, write my comments along, then go ahead and record reading it, and then come back and give the discussion and the commentary. So, jumping into chapter 13, titled Getting into the Right Business. Success in any particular business depends, for one thing, upon your possessing in a well developed state the faculties required in that business. Without good musical faculty, no one can succeed as a teacher of music. Without well developed mechanical faculties, no one can achieve great success in any of the mechanical trades. Without tact in the commercial faculties, no one can succeed in mercantile pursuits. But to possess in a well developed state the faculties required in your particular vocation does not ensure getting rich. There are musicians who have remarkable talent and who yet remain poor. There are blacksmiths and carpenters and so on that have excellent mechanical ability, but who do not get rich, and there are merchants and good faculty with good faculties for dealing with men who nevertheless fail. The different faculties are tools. It is essential to have good tools, but it is also essential that the tools should be used in the right way. One man can take a sharp saw, a square, a good plane, and so on, and build a handsome article of furniture. Another man can take the same tools and set to work to duplicate the article, but his production will be a botch. He does not know how to use the good tools in a successful way. The various faculties of your mind are the tools with which you must do the work which is to make you rich. It will be easier for you to succeed if you get into a business for which you are well equipped with mental tools. Generally speaking, you will do best in that business which will use your strongest faculties, the one for which you are naturally best fitted, but there are limitations to this statement also. No man should regard his vocation as being irrevocably fixed by the tendencies with which he was born. You can get rich in any business, for if you have not the right talent for it, you can develop that talent. It merely means you will have to make your tools as you go along instead of confining yourself to the use of those with which you were born. It will be easier for you to succeed in a vocation for which you already have the talents in a well developed state. But you can succeed in any vocation, for you can develop any rudimentary talent, and there is no talent of which you have not the least the rudiment, not at least the rudiment. You will get rich most easily in point of effort if you do that for which you are best fitted, but you will get rich most satisfactorily if you do that which you want to do. Doing what you want to do in life, there is no reason. Doing what you want to do is life, and there is no real satisfaction in living if we are compelled to be forever doing something which we do not like to do and can never do what we want to do. And it is certain that you can do what you want to do. The desire to do it is proof that you have within you the power which can do it. Desire is a manifestation of power. The desire to play music is the power which can play music seeking expression and development. The desire to invent mechanical devices is the mechanical talent seeking expression and development. Where there is no power, either developed or underdeveloped, to do a thing, there is never any desire to do that thing. And where there is a strong desire to do a thing, it is certain proof that the power to do it is strong and only requires to be developed and applied in the right way. All things else being equal, it is best to select the business for which you have best developed talent. But if you have a strong desire to engage in any particular line of work, you should select that work as the ultimate end at which you aim. You can do what you want to do, and it is your right and privilege to follow the business or avocation which will be most congenial and pleasant. You are not obliged to do what you do not like to do, and you should not do it except as a means to bring you to the doing of the thing you want to do. If there are past mistakes whose consequences have placed you in an undesirable business or environment, you may be obliged for some time to do what you do not like to do. But you can make the doing of it pleasant by knowing that it is making it possible for you to come into the doing of what you want to do. If you feel that you are not in the right vocation, do not act too hastily in trying to get into another one. The best way, generally, to change business or environment is by growth. Do not be afraid to make sudden and radical change if the opportunity is presented and you feel after careful consideration that it is the right opportunity, but never make a sudden or radical action when you are in doubt as to the wisdom of doing so. There is never any hurry on the creative plane, and there is no lack of opportunity. When you get out of the competitive mind, you will understand that you never need to act hastily. No one else is going to beat you to the thing you want to do. There is enough for all. If one place is taken, another and better one will be opened for you a little further on. There is plenty of time. When you are in doubt, wait. Fall back on the contemplation of your vision and increase your faith and purpose, and by all means, in times of doubt and indecision, cultivate gratitude. A day or two spent in contemplating the vision of what you want and in earnest thanksgiving that you are getting it will bring your mind into such close relationship with the Supreme that you will make no mistake when you do act. There is a mind which knows all there is to know, and you can come into close unity with this mind by faith and the purpose to advance in life if you have deep gratitude. Mistakes come from acting hastily, or from acting in fear or doubt, or in forgetfulness of the right motive, which is more life to all and less to none. As you go on in a certain way, opportunities will come to you in increasing number, and you will need to be very steady in your faith and purpose and to keep in close touch with the All Mind by reverent gratitude. Do all that you can in perfect manner every day. Do all that you can to do in a perfect manner every day, but do it without haste, worry, or fear. Go as fast as you can, but never hurry. Remember that in the moment you begin to hurry, you cease to be a creator and become a competitor. You drop you drop back upon the old plane again. Whenever you find yourself hurrying, call a halt, fix your attention on the mental image of the thing you want, and begin to give thanks that you are getting it. The exercise of gratitude will never fail to strengthen your faith and renew your purpose. So, you guys, chapter 13 finally got to the meat of it. I'm going to tell you this right now. So, he started talking about the business, right? Like, are you in the right business or whatever? And he talked about, like, you have to have these tools. Well, when you have these tools, you got to use them in the right way. And in this book, the right way are the R and the W are capitalized. So every time he talks about certain things, he capitalizes to emphasize this. So going down, he talks about the tools, right? Using the tools in the right way. The various faculties of your mind are the tools with which you must do the work which it is to make you rich. It will be easier for you to succeed if you get into a business for which that you are well equipped with mental tools. So this highlights way back in 1910 how the mind is a tool. How do you utilize the tool of the mind? How do you do anything you do? How do you do it in the right way? Well, you can get rich in any business is what he says. And he talks about these tools, the tool of the mind. So when you know how to use the tool of the mind, you can get rich doing anything at all. And so it talks about going down to it'll be easier for you to succeed in a vocation for which you already have the talents in a well developed state. So, state is your identity, your state of being. So, when you are just being who you are, right, it's easier, infinitely easier just to be who you are, who you are. And what is your state of being? What is your actual accepted identity in a well developed state? Well, you're going to get rich if you do that for which you are best fitted, what you want to do. So you are best fitted for the thing that you want to do, not what you should do, not what you were trained in. They can be the same thing, but they don't have to be. What he's saying is whatever it is that you want is what you were created to do. So then now we keep going. We go further down. He says, it is certain that you can do what you want to do. The desire to do it is proof that you have within you the power which can do it. So the fact that you have the desire is proof that you have something inside of you that can scratch that itch, that can satisfy that desire. If you desire it, it's already yours. What we're doing is we're traversing realities. We're going from the third dimension of wanting and not having up to a mindset of that fifth dimension of knowing that it's already yours and you just get to be in the in between. Desire is a manifestation of power. It is that fact that you have the desire means you have the what it takes to receive that, to achieve that. We're evolving. That's why we're talking about this book from 1910, where we learned the framework, but now this is the embodiment, the lived embodiment of that action, of that framework, of knowing it. So going on, it talks about where there is no power, either developed or underdeveloped, to do a thing, then there's never any desire to do that thing. And where there is a strong desire to do the thing, it is certain proof that the power to do it is strong and only requires to be developed and applied in the right way. The right way. So, what is the right way, the certain way? Again, right way. R is capitalized and W is capitalized. This is the I am presence, knowing that no matter what you do, no matter what you do, you have you get to manifest it. You get to bring it to fruition. You can do the fact that you desire something is the fact that it's yours, and it's proof that if you do it from the I am presence, from the God presence, that it's already yours. And now we're in a dimension of our consciousness and our evolution of our consciousness and our identity and our I amness, and being able to conceptualize that everything is energy, that we can bring this to ourselves. But let me continue. He goes on to say, you can do what you want to do, and it is your right and privilege to follow the business or avocation which will be most congenial and pleasant. Now, you are a son of God. You are a child of God. You can do whatever you want. You can literally do whatever you want. You're not obliged to do what you do not like to do. You can do whatever you want. And if you know that every single thing you're doing, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if you know that every single thing you're doing is leading you to you being rich, everything's going to lead to you being rich. That's your belief. That's your identity. That's your state of being. You are abundant. So anything you do brings in abundance because you magnetize that, which you are. So going on down, he says, you may be obliged for some time to do what you do not like to do because you've had past mistakes. You started doing crap you had to do instead of what you wanted to do. But for a time, you might have to. But you can make, and you may not like to do it, but you can make the doing of it pleasant by knowing that it is making it possible for you to come into the doing of what you want to do. So basically, flip the script. If you're stuck in a job that you hate, know that you get to finish out your last few days at this job you hate, knowing that it's coming to an end. That this has to happen to get you to your dream reality. This is what I mean by reality, traversing realities, trans, like transcending, moving, transferring, walking over, choosing our reality, reality creation. Excuse me. And he talks about getting out of the competitive mind to the creative mind. Like, we are all creators. We're not competing for this job. We're not competing for money. We're not competing with anybody else. We are creating. Excuse me. And he talks about, if you are in doubt, wait. Fall back on the contemplation of your vision. Fall back on knowing that everything you're doing is making you rich. Increase your faith. Just be grateful that everything you're doing, that I know it's already finished. You got to have faith in something. You got to have faith in God. You got to have faith in your manifestation. You got to have faith in whatever is out there that beats your heart. You just got to have faith. And it talks about, by all means, in times of doubt and indecision, cultivate gratitude. A day or two spent in contemplating the vision of what you want and in earnest thanksgiving that you're getting it will bring your mind into such close relationship with the Supreme that you will make no mistake when you do act. And he goes on to talk about, there's a mind which knows all there is to know. And you can come into close unity with this mind by faith and the purpose to advance in life if you have deep gratitude. As you go on in a certain way, opportunities will come to you in increasing number. You're going to start seeing synchronicities. You're going to start seeing things come to you, opportunities. And you will need to be very steady in your faith because you got to keep your eye on the end goal. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. You stay in gratitude and you stay in touch with the divine mind, the certain way, the God, the manifestation, the what you want, the knowing that you can do this because you're a child of God, a son of God, just like Jesus taught. Do all that you can do in perfect manner every day and do it without haste, worry, or fear. Do it without fearing. Do it without hurrying. Because the minute that you hurry, you're over efforting in your human self, and you cease to be a creator, God self, and become again a competitor, the human race. So remember that in the moment you begin to hurry, you cease to be creator. Let us make them in our image. You cease to be a creator and you fall back into becoming a competitor. You drop back upon the old plane again, he says. So that goes from 5D consciousness back down to 3D consciousness when you're hurrying, when you're doubting, when you're in fear, and when you're in worry. Jesus said, "Why did you doubt?" when he reached down and pulled Peter out of the water after he began to sink. So to finish out chapter 13, he says, whenever you find yourself hurrying, call a halt, fix your attention on the mental image of the thing you want, and begin to give thanks that you are getting it. This is the exercise of gratitude. So we stop, drop, and give thanks. When you get fearful, thank you that it's already being made new. Thank you that I'm already receiving my healing. Thank you that this relationship has already been revived or revitalized or renewed, whatever it is. So that's a juicy chapter 13. So because this is chapter 13 and 14, I'm going to continue reading chapter 14 and we're going to pick it apart. So this one's fun. This is titled The Impression of Increase. Whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in by doing your daily work in a certain way. Your I am presence, knowing that you are a child of God. My little aside, my commentary, going back to the book. And insofar as your business consults in dealing with other men, whether personally or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey their minds the impression of increase. Increase is what all men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them, seeking fuller expression. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. Every living thing is under the necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. Well, man instinctively knows this, and hence he is forever seeking more. This law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. From him who hath not shall be taken away even that with which he hath. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It is aspiration. And because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to him who can give them more means of life. In the following certain way, as described in the foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase for yourself and you are giving it to all with whom you deal. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact. No matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child, put it into the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man and that you advance all who deal with you. Even to the people with whom you meet in a social way without thought of business and to whom you do not try to sell anything, give them the thought of increase. You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you, yourself, are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything you can do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich, and that in so doing you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. Do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Whenever you find a boastful person, wherever you find a boastful person, you find one who is secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Rich. Words will not be necessary to. Gosh, I'm tripping over this because my brain is like wanting to talk about all this stuff. We're going to come back to it. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. They will feel the sense of increase when in your presence and will be attracted to you again. You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. Take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, and you will have no lack of customers. People will go where they are given increase, and the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. Your businesses will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able from day to day make larger combinations, secure greater advantages, and to go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. But in doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want or your faith and purpose to get what you want. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek for power over other men. Nothing is so pleasant to the unformed or partially developed mind as the exercise of power or dominion over others. The desire to rule for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world. For countless ages, kings and lords have drenched the earth with their blood, in their battles to extend their dominions. This is not to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves. Today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. Men marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Jesus saw in this desire for mastery the moving impulse of that evil world he sought to overthrow. Read the 23rd chapter of Matthew and see how he pictures the lust of the Pharisees to be called master, to sit in the high places, to domineer over others, and to lay burdens on the backs of the less fortunate. And note how he compares this lust for dominion with the brotherly seeking for the common good to which he calls his disciples. Look out for the temptation to seek for authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, to impress others by lavish display, and so on. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men. And indeed, when you fall into the world struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule, Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. All right, chapter 14. Brought it. Brought it. So the impression of increase. Talked about you can do anything you want just by doing your work in a daily way. And it says, or sorry, in a daily work in a certain way. So no matter what you're doing, you leave with people the impression of increase. Let me be clear when I talk about impression. So when we talk about in our culture impression, we talk about like the vibe that somebody gets from us. While yes, but what we know energetically is that everything leaves an impression in the matrix, in the energetic signature of reality. So if you are operating and you're like you are your energy, your aura, the essence about you, if you know that you are Christed, that you are a son of God, that you are in the way that no matter what you're doing is blessed and is abundant and is bringing money to you, you're impressing that upon every single body, every single person you engage with. Okay? So in the book he talks about every living thing is under the necessity for this continuous advancement. That's life. Life begets life. Okay, so he talks about the law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. So as you gain more life, you get more, you retain more. If you give, you get. You give, you get. You give, you get. Right? And then if you don't give at all, and if you bury it, even what you have is going to be taken away. Whew. Okay, going on, moving on. All men and women who are attracted to them, blah, 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 blah. All men and women who are attracted to him who can give them more of the means of life. So when people are impressed by you, they're going to be attracted to you. You are a creative center, he says in the book, which increase is given off to all. You being a creative center, that means you are most like God when you are creating and giving, and you're giving more life. I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. When you help others to experience abundant life through what you are providing them in your vocation and in your business. I don't care if you're a checkout person at the gas station down the way. If I feel better when I leave you, you've left an impression on me. Knowing that you're doing that while you don't like working the midnight shift, you help me feel safe, and you know that that's just a stair step to going to where you want to be. Suddenly you enjoy it, and you might actually be a little sad when you leave to go do the life of your dreams, the job of your dreams. So the book talks about uh, conveying the impression of advancement with everything you do so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man. Again, A, advancing is capitalized, M is capitalized for man. Advancing man, which means you are evolving, you're consciously evolving, you're advancing, you're moving forward. You are someone that's advancing and giving more and more life, and that you advance all who deal with you. So I used to tell my kiddos, hurt people when we would talk about mean kids at school. Like it helps them to see the world from a compassionate perspective. So hurt people hurt people. But then I flipped it because I was like, instead of giving more attention to hurt people, healed people heal people. So as someone who is healed, I help to heal others because A, I don't retaliate. B, I don't stoop down to their level. C, I'm not overtly hurting people. My intentions are always pure. And that's what he talks about, the advancing man. So convey the impression of advancement with everything you do so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man and that you advance all who deal with you. Rich people help others become rich. So even it goes on to say, even when you're hanging out with somebody socially and you're not even thinking about business, give the thought of increase. See them as whole. And so I'm twisting this away a little bit from getting rich to actually helping your soul advance. This is Tasha's calling, not about becoming rich. It's the message behind the message here. For me, this is our I am God self identity. This is what I mean by conscious Christianity. This is what I mean about waking up from the matrix, waking up from enslavement over, misinterpreting what the churchianity taught us, and going back to pure Christianity, the knowingness of our Christed self, the Gnosticism of it all. The Gnostic Christianity is Tasha's particular thing. So going back to when you're hanging out with your friends, the book right here, Bible. Oh my gosh, the book says, and in a social way, without any thought of business, and to whom you do not try to sell anything. So when you're hanging with your homies, give the thought of increase. Still see them as abundant. Still see them as rich. See them as whole, healed, perfect, and complete, just as I see you, dear listener, as whole, perfect, and complete. And the Bible talks about, I am holy, so you must be holy. Like, it's not like you gotta be this way. Like, because I am, God says, I am holy and I am in you, then you must. You have no choice but to be holy. Like, let go. It's easy. Just simply believe and have faith. So let me slide on down, talk about wanting to be faith. Do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving everybody advancement to riches. Feel that you are getting rich, and in so doing that you are making others rich. Period. Just because I'm getting rich, so are you. And that's how we remember that we are conscious creators of our reality. And as I know that I'm a conscious creator, and I know that you're a conscious creator, you're waking up to your God self, that now we've created a tangle, a quantum entangle, because who knows where, when, and how you're hearing these words. I'm recording it in January of 2026. But because we're now quantumly entangled, I know that your increase is on its way because I am who I am. I am that I am. And I am not reading this book just for the fun of it. I'm reading it for the advancement of the people, because if you look around at the US society, and I'm only going to talk about America because that's where I live, home of the free, land of the brave, right? Land of the free, home of the brave. I'm saying it backwards. It's a dumpster fire. And people are there's been more fear because this is what it is. This is the end times. But here we are, Christ has returned. And this is your identity in Christ. So simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction, says the book. Know that every single thing you do is already making you rich. It's already because you already are rich. And when you do that, you don't even have to tell people about it, but just the way you are, people are going to feel that sense of increase. And when they feel that, they're going to be attracted to you again and again. And I'm going to tell you one thing, my coaching clients, I have said to my own chagrin that I want to put myself out of business because you only got to see me once, homie. You and I meet, and my coaching experience is that people feel this shift, this identity shift, and they come back time and time again. And I'm like, why are you back? Because you already know your I am. But that's where it's beautiful, because we're in this together. This is why we're entangled. Because by them returning increases my financial, and I'm not taking advantage of them. I know that when we go from one way of being and believing in our identity, it takes a while to go flip over and to really be in that God perspective. And that takes repeated exposure. And so that's why they come back to me. But I will attest to it. People feel that sense of increase. And it's not oh, it feels good, let me go back. No, you're rewriting the neural pathways, and that literally takes time. Like even um, cultural science will tell you that a habit takes 21 days to form. So it is instantaneous, but it takes a while for us to remember and to create those new neural pathways. But I digress. Let me keep going. Talks about on the same page, your business will increase rapidly and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. Now that is noteworthy, and I'm going to stand on that. Your business will increase rapidly and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits that will come to you. One time when I was doing a healing session, I heard very intuitively, like, as the instrument, I also receive the healing vibrations. I also receive the healing as a pure vessel, as someone who knows that I get to run the divine channel of the I am presence through my body, through my breath. You best freaking believe I know that I am healed. And my business, Divine Wellness, my ministry, Divine Wellness Ministries, the whole motto, my mission statement is I get paid to exist and I exist to give. That's why you're getting this commentary on the science of getting rich from me, because this is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I do. And so, moving on to finish this out, beware of the insidious temptation to seek power over another man. Mm, we are sovereign, baby. These days, we are into sovereignty. We are not into power over. We are into awakening of the power within. This is embodiment of the Christed frequencies. This is not making me better than you. This is saying, hey, let me give you a hand up to walk on the water next to me because we're going somewhere. Let's entangle and let's live the new earth now. How many times are we going to read the book of Revelation and refuse to see it being revealed in the right now moment? So, moving on, this is not to seek more life when people are getting rich. Kings and lords talked about their battles and stuff. This wasn't to get rich. This wasn't to seek more life for people, but to get more power. So, people were looking for power over life. So the book talks about, look out for the temptation to seek for authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who's above the common herd, to impress others by lavish display. Like, no, it's not about oppressing others, it's equipping them. They are impressed by default. That's what energy does. It leaves its impression in the matrix of society. Your intention to want power over will leave the wrong impression, pun intended. So to finish out this reading of chapter 14, it says, it is not at all necessary that you should rule your oh my gosh, rule over your fellow men. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's the golden rule. And the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Why do we say that? Why is that a thing that's quintessential and eternal? because everyone is you pushed out. When you remember how consciousness works in your actual brain, your brain is interpreting a whole lot of sensory input, and everybody outside of you is just a reflection of your belief of them. If you believe that you're helping them to be rich, you are, and they are. If you believe they're idiots and stupid, then that idiotic and stupid thought is coming and originating from you. I'm Reverend Your Glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Everything you say as a God creator, you're creating it. Choose your words lightly, wisely, knowingly, certainly. All right, I'll be back for our next video on chapters 15 and 16. Oh, we're almost done. Starting to think about what book I want to do next. I'm kind of feeling the Course in Miracles, but I've got to have a lot more structure to that one. So anyway, enjoy. Be back soon. Bye.